Hi, it's Valiant Val. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. And the Christmas countdown is on. We decorated today, so I'm still in my Christmas gear. But hey, happy to be here. Pam's invited me to have you travel with me on my DDPY journey. So I in turn invite you to venture with Val as I share my DDPY journey with you. Thank you for your support as I have been on this journey since April, well, actually March, and I've appreciated your encouragement and support every step of the way. Wanted to start with what I think the most important part of DDPY is for me, and that's mindset. Mindset basically is a person's way of thinking and their opinions. And DDPY has 3 pillars that support DDPY. And those 3 pillars are mindset, nutrition, and fitness. And for me, when I started understanding that, mindset was foundational. It was foundational to nutrition, and it was also foundational to fitness. If I had the correct mindset, the other 2 fell into place. So, I want to share a story with you today that really means a lot to me when I think about mindset and how I prioritize my life. And this is a story of the priorities and a jar. So the following story is one that's been circulating for a while. I believe it holds a very important message regarding setting priorities in our lives. A professor of philosophy stood before his class with some items in front of him. When the class began, wordlessly he picked up a large empty jar and proceeded to fill it with rocks about 2 inches in diameter. He then asked the students if they thought the jar was full. They agreed, yes, it was full of some large rocks. So the professor then picked up some pebbles and he poured them into the jar. And then he shook the jar lightly and watched as the pebbles fell into the space between the rocks. And he asked the students again if the jar was full. And they agreed that indeed it was full this time. Then the professor picked up some sand and he poured it into the jar. And the sand settled into the place where the gaps remained. Now, said the professor, I want you to recognize that this jar signifies your life. The rocks, the big rocks, are the truly important things. The truly important things that are in your life. Things such as family and health and relationships. If all else was lost, the rocks that remain, your life would still be meaningful. The pebbles are the other things that matter in your life, such as work or school, friends or hobbies. The sand signifies the remaining small stuff, our material possessions. Things like TV, social media, the small stuff. Now, if you look at the screen beside me, you put the big rocks, then the pebbles, then the sand. It all fits. But if you do it in the opposite, if you do it where you put in the sand first, and then you add the pebbles, there's not room left for the rocks, for the big things, the important things in our life. If you do the little unimportant things first, there's no time, no room for the big things. If you do the big things, the important things first, then you can fill your jar, you can fill your life with all the other things that you would like to do. So pay attention to the things in life that are critical to your happiness and your well-being. My big rocks are, number one, my relationship with God and spending time with Him every day, my husband, and my family, and my health. DDPY is part of that health rock. Take time to go to the doctor, to get that medical checkup, to get down and play with your grandchildren, to go for that walk, to write that letter. There will always be time to clean the house or mow the lawn. Take care of the big rocks first, things that really matter. Set your priorities. The rest is just pebbles and sand. I'd like to read you something else from DDPY himself, and it's in his book, Positively Unstoppable. And it's where he talks about Terry. Terry was his massage therapist. And he was having a massage with her one day, and he noticed there was just something a little bit off. And this is from his perspective. He says, when I asked her if she was okay, she went on a rant about turning 50 in 6 months. Oh my goodness, my life is over. It goes on and on. I'm not downplaying her feelings. We're friends, and I understand about getting older, believe me. It's just that I thought it sounded ridiculous. Anyway, when Terry took her final breath, I said, "Are you finished?" "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off like that." "Are you finished?" Yes, I'm finished." I said, "Well, let me take you on a journey." She responded, "What?" I want you to imagine that what I'm about to say is real. Okay. I could tell she didn't know where I was going, but she was humoring me. As she massaged me, I'd never done this before in my life. It just came to me right then. I said, "Okay, it's not going to be your 50th birthday 6 months from now. It's not going to be your 50th birthday. It's going to be your 60th. Oh my goodness, I get ill turning 50, and you want me to be 60? I continued, "There are 2 things here I'd like you to do. 1, believe what I'm saying. 2, keep your mouth shut and just go on the journey, okay?" Yes, okay. Good. Now, it's not going to be your 50th or your 60th birthday. It's going to be your 70th. And a sort of sigh came out of her, and I said, "It's not going to be your 50th or your 60th or your 70th. It'll be your 80th birthday." And I didn't let up. I went on, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85 years old. You've been lucky. Think about it. By then you'll have been blessed to have been alive for 85 years. You've been married to Warren since you were 20. You're still married. You just renewed your vows, and you're still in love. You've not only gotten to see your son Jared grow up, but now you're watching your granddaughter grow up, and now you're watching your great-grandson and great-granddaughters grow up. I said, think about it. What a wonderful life you've had. Now let me ask you, Terry, what would you give to go back in time 35 years and be 6 months from 50 again? And then I went, bang, open up your eyes. You got your wish. That was a defining moment for Terry. And I always say that when a defining moment comes along, you either define the moment or the moment will define you. Your health, your life, what are they worth to you? Back in March of 2024, I did not have good health. I did not have a good life. I was obese. I was morbidly obese. I was depressed. My marriage was in a sad place. And I knew something had to change. And I turned to DDPY and the 3 pillars: mindset, nutrition, and fitness. Terry did the same thing. Terry went on to lose 64 pounds. On her 50th birthday, she was 134 pounds, which was the same weight that she was when she graduated from college. Her outlook in life completely changed in that moment. Terry's now in her late 60s at the time of the writing of this book, and she looks as good as she did in her late 40s. It's 17 years later now, and I can still so clearly remember what the vibe was like when Terry started hanging around with the DDPY crew. It was all positive. It was all eating right, all exercising. I remember when we developed this small group of people who would hang out and were always kind of on the same path. We would talk about healthy eating together, working out, and keeping our forward momentum. We helped each other stay accountable. And that's what I see our DDP Fitness for Seniors 55 plus group. We hold each other accountable. We encourage each other. We motivate each other, and we help each other be consistent. Something that I discovered on my journey is that there are 2 different life expectancy numbers for Americans. Number 1 is the healthy life expectancy, the quality of life that we can expect to live in a relatively healthy aspect, and that's up to about 63.9 years of age. The life expectancy for the average American is 77.5 years. So if you do the math, it's almost 14 years between a healthy life expectancy and life expectancy. So we live with 14 years of declining health. And that's where I saw myself back last March. I was declining physically, mentally, and emotionally. DDPY talks about mindset and says there's no greater waste of time than trying to change someone into who you think they should be. You know what's great use of your time? You trying to change yourself into the person that you think you should be. Since beginning this journey back in March of 2024, I lost 65 pounds. My marriage has done a 180. We're on our 2nd honeymoon. So many things have changed for the positive in my life, but that would not have happened unless I had changed my mindset. So today is the first day of the rest of your life. Think about it and own it. Thanks for letting me share.